But I think the same basic principle holds true na you lead by example. If you're on time, eventually your staff will also be on time.
Yes.
If you are a hothead,
Yeah.
it will also affect your staff. So whoever the leader is on top, whoever, whatever characteristics you have, it
Yeah.
will eventually bleed out into your business.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. It's me again, your host Sean C, aka Mr. CEO at 22. And for today, we have a special impromptu guest, Miss Maricar Reyes.
Super impromptu.
So,
But yeah, happy to be
we
here.
figured that since we have her here right now and she's extremely rarely in the South where we work, we wanted to get to know her insights. And as we always want to achieve with you guys, our audience, we want to learn about leadership, entrepreneurship, and management. So let's jump off with the first question, Gabe.
Go.
So Maricar, you had a phenomenal acting career. What made you think about that and say, you know what, I'm just gonna start a business?
It was stability of the career itself. Kasi even, it's not really talked about, but if you ask like the real higher ups of showbiz, actors and actresses in front of the camera, they come and go. Unless you're one of the lucky ones na talagang naging superstar and talagang tumatak sa kultura.
Yeah.
Generally, it's not very stable. A really big boss told me that. Sa first month ko pa lang ng showbiz, he said, each project that you get, treat it as your last. Kasi you don't know when your next show is gonna be. You don't know if your show will do well or whatever. So, after, I started 2009. So, 4 years na ako artista, pure artista. And then I just got married with Richard, who also has a very good business sense.
Yeah.
And then that's when we started to feel na after a year of marriage, we have to start something together
Right.
that's more stable moving forward. As we age, we have to... So ngayon, na habang hindi pa ganun katanda, i-build na natin.
Yeah.
So that, when we do get old, it's already running and stable.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you have that now in your mind. Here comes the next challenge. What business?
It was a no-brainer for food. Food talaga siya. Kasi food yung specialty ni Richard. He cooked in his dad's kitchen for like 6 years. And then their family is really about food. Diba? I think, they had Mr. Poon,
Yes.
his dad's restaurant, for so many years. So maalam talaga siya sa food. And he really had the talent for it. Even when we were dating, he would always like fix the sausawan. If we'd go to a restaurant, tapos hindi okay yung food,
Yeah.
hihingi yan ng toyo, ng
Talaga?
sugar, or whatever, and then he'd fix it right there on the table, and it's like, wow, okay, that's better. So he really has a talent for that. So definitely we were going to food. The toss-up was, he wanted beef noodles.
Right.
Me and we got another business partner to come in. Two of us, the two girls, we wanted cake.
Right.
Mahilig ako sa cake, not for any particular reason, I just like it. I'm not even a professional baker. After much discussion, bumigay siya, kasi
Yeah.
dalawa kami sa cake eh.
Yeah.
So 2 against 1. Yun, I started the YouTube lang.
Yeah.
YouTube, then trial and error. And yun nga, his gift for fixing stuff.
Yeah.
I'd bake something. I bake a common chocolate cake recipe.
Yeah.
Then he'd analyze the recipe and say, oh, change this, put this,
Wow.
increase this, decrease
Galing.
that. Galing.
Thank you.
Sobra. Oo. So I'm like, I'm the front,
Yeah.
but a really huge reason why our food tastes good is because he's tweaking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Galing. And
Sobra.
I love it. Every year, thank you. You give it to me for my birthday.
Much welcome.
Appreciate that.
Much welcome.
Now, a lot of entrepreneurs would start off, okay, here's the business I want to get into.
Mhm.
We got the product. Paano na yung pricing? How did you figure out your pricing model?
We gave it to friends who also have their own businesses, who are kind of our target market also.
Yeah.
And then we asked them, are you willing to pay this much for it? How much are you willing to pay for? So we really did our research. We also asked people foodies,
Yeah.
entrepreneurs, and people who are generally yung may ganun na experience.
Yeah.
So yun, we sent it out and got a consensus. We also bought top 10 chocolate cakes in Metro Manila. And then we compared it to our own.
Yeah.
And then we also asked talagang people who would be brutally honest with us. And there was even one time at the early stages of our cake development, kinompare niya to a big common bakery
Yeah.
that sells not very expensive cakes. And then she was like, honestly, kapantay niya yung okay lang. Na-hurt ako, pero that feedback is what helped us improve the cake more to what it is today. So, okay din.
So what made you now decide? Because we're working on the website right now, and I could see you have an expanded list of food items now that you're willing to sell. What made you decide na, you know what, we should do more than just the cakes and pastries?
I'm not so sure. It was like a combination of factors. We were me, my business partner, and Richard, we were talking na we wanted to create a new product. And partially, a lot of the cakes that we wanted to release, hindi pa rin perfect. But we really felt like there's a demand or a need for a new one. Si Richard, magaling nga siya sa food. So he started playing around with food items naman. Noodles and things. Kasi we also saw that Pinoys like to eat together. Yes. They like noodles. It's comfort food. And I'm not sure if this is like, baka sigad na to. Kasi yung development of the food was going so much faster. We were having less problems. It was, in a span of just like 1 or 2 months, parang nakatatlong food items na kami na nakadevelop na. So we were like, okay, this is the sign na wag muna tayo masyado mag-cake. We'll try these food items. And so far, nag-work kasi people get food and then, you have dessert? Sige, let's get the dessert also. Yeah. So it's easier. They just get it from one place.
Nice. And then, so was he able to finally do the beef noodles?
Yes! Finally. Actually, ang galing 7 years after he got his wish. He had a 7-year wait.
Yeah.
Pero finally, oo nga.
From your acting career, and I'm sure you've learned a lot from your experience there, let's talk about leading yourself. In the pre-show, we talked about leadership and you gave me some comments na you always thought leadership was about having followers or having people who you can delegate tasks to.
Yeah.
Whereas leadership, when you think about it, the first person you really need to lead is yourself. And even that, not a lot of people get it right. So from an actress, I'm sure you've learned some leadership principles there. What are some of those that you practice now, especially in this business that you have?
The way, at least how I work in the acting industry, parang you just have to mind yourself Honestly, I mean, what I really learned from showbiz is dealing with people. But I wouldn't siguro frame it in my mind that I'm a leader. Yeah. Maybe if I look at it now in your context, maybe I led by example because I tried to be on time, you deliver more than what's required of you. Yeah. If they give you a character, you really go deep, you do the work. And I think, hopefully, that I led by example at that time. But if you ask me when I was acting, am I leading? Not really. Kasi ako lang, iniintindi mo lang sarili mo, damit mo, character mo. Yeah. And then everybody does everything for you. The setup is made, somebody does your makeup. Yeah. Actually, it was a shock when I came into business and suddenly we had staff. Yeah. We had business partners. You really are tested on your leadership. Yes. Hindi lang by example. Yeah. So it took a while. It took a while for me to get used to it. But I think the same basic principle holds true na you lead by example. If you're on time, eventually your staff will also be on time. Yes. If you are a hothead, it will also affect your staff. So whoever the leader is on top, whoever, whatever characteristics you have, it will eventually bleed out into your business.
Right. So, okay. Now I'm wondering, and maybe wala pa kayo sa stage na to, I'm not sure yet. Okay. But culture kasi is a very big, important facet in building a team. So I'll give you some context. When I was starting out SEO hacker, I would hire people who are same age as me. When I started out 22, so medyo, everyone was young. And I would go out pitching to clients or fixing problems of current clients. Yeah. So the culture in the office kind of grew on its own and it mutated into such a creature that I wasn't familiar with anymore.
Hello, creature?
Yeah. No,
okay.
The first few years of SEO Hacker, totally chaotic. I had to really deal with, I would say a rogue culture. It's a rogue culture. And we had to refresh the roster, the team, at least 3 times. Now we're very intentional with the culture. And we actually have our team memorize our core values and recite what it means every week. So I'm wondering, what culture do you envision having with this business that you now have?
That is actually something that Richard is very passionate about. Sobrang ko na-admire yun sa kanya kasi yun nga, I never saw myself as a leader, so I don't really think about these things. It shocked me that he said, this is the culture that I want to bring. He's really an honesty and excellence kind of guy. So that's the culture that he really tries to enforce sa business namin. And he also encourages the same thing. He talks to the staff.
Yeah.
He says na, walang tamang adjustment kung hindi magsasabi ng totoo. So if you don't like the cooking, because sometimes he cooks for the staff, if you feel like it's maalat, you tell me it's maalat. Huwag niyo iisipin na ma-hurt ako. Kasi how will you expect me to change if you don't tell me? So yung mga ganon. Actually, yun nga yung may mga linya din siya when there's a new staff. He's like, mas lalo kayong mapapagalitan kung magpapanggap kayo. So it's really, he really develops the culture of honesty and excellence also. He really, if somebody goes above and beyond the required, activity, the task, he really will publicly praise that person. So to encourage the behavior. So galing. I can't really say na the culture is because of me because I also learned that culture from him. So I'm really blessed na he is around.
Super. Okay, what do you think would be the factors? You're 7 years now in business. Graduate ka na sa startup stage, first 5 years. What would you think are the possibilities or the possible factors where the business could fail?
Top of mind, I would say our biggest challenge is distribution. Kasi there are a lot of other areas in the country that want our cakes or our food. Kasi nga because of social media, the reach is so wide. And thank you, Lord, for the following that I have. But yun nga, it doesn't help now. We can't get the products to them. And we're actually relying on third-party logistics providers to get it to customers. So yun, parang we've been really thinking about that question for a very long time. Paano yung distribution? Even to like Batangas, there's one product that we can't bring to Batangas because it's very fragile. I mean, it's very delicate. But there's a big demand for it. There are things like that na parang we want to focus like energies on that, but then there are also other aspects of the business. Plus, we're not just entrepreneurs. We also have our own social media, our own content. Then we have Richard singing. So, time management also, I guess. That's also something we can work on. How to ihati-hati yung attention, prioritizing. So, that's top of mind.
So, Maricar, to people who are in the startup stage, kaka-graduate mo lang, 1 year to 5 years pa lang business nila, what would be an encouragement from you to them?
If you make mistakes, those are really diamond learning opportunities. Kasi the longer you stay with your business partners, if you're working with somebody, parang mas lalong lumalabas yung weaknesses. Just learn to put the right person in the right seat. Kasi like for me, I thought I was good in math. I'm not. So they took me out of that. So that's okay. I mean, it took a while for me to, kasi doktor ako so feeling ko may skills naman ako. But compared to somebody else on the team who is not an advanced degree, ibigay mo na sa kanya kasi dun siya magaling. So it took a little bit of pride chewing, but once I accepted it, na parang, okay, these are my weaknesses. Doon medyo nagkaroon kami ng more breathing room. Things got a lot better, a lot faster.
Oh, that's good.
So, galing. Right people on the right seats.
If people want to get in touch with you, want to know more about you, where are the best places to do that?
Well, you can go to maricarreyes.com. Also, and Richard and I have relationshipmatters.ph. We also have Facebook and Instagram as well. So just look for me, Maricar Reyes-Poon, on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube.
We got your book right here. And this has come out, no?
Last September 30. So out na siya.
What's it about?
Technically, it's about overcoming online shame. But I would like to think of it as like a blueprint for somebody who's lost and hopeless. We learn from example So I told my story in the hopes that it will give somebody an idea on how to overcome their own difficulties.
Yeah, and it's fully colored, no?
Yes, there's a lot of pictures. So kung tamad kayo magbasa, marami namang pictures and malaki yung font.
Yeah, actually. Very
So
nice.
yeah, a lot of people tell us it's an easy read, and a lot of people have finished it in one sitting. So
Wow.
yay! And in the back, there's like a workbook if you're that kind of person.
Okay.
There's like if you're like an introspective kind of person, each chapter may mga questions.
There you go.
So you can answer if you want to think about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they can reflect on it.
Yeah,
Galing.
things like that.
So, where to buy it?
MaricarReyes.com. So
There you
very
go.
easy.
Get your copy today and make sure you finish the worksheets also so that you know what you got out of the book. All right, thanks Maricar for being here on the show.
Very
Appreciate it.
much welcome.
And
Thank
we
you for
are
having me.
better for it.
Yay.